Something a few people have drawn my attention to over the last few days is this building. This is the former station of the Brookwood Necropolis Railway, and it's for sale. Now, I made a video a while back giving a full history of the Brookwood Necropolis Railway, and I'll link that in the description below, if I remember, which I might well not. But long story short, the Brookwood Necropolis Railway was the first regular train service laid on purely for the convenience of the dead. The London Necropolis, which is not in London, but in fact at Brookwood in Surrey, was opened in 1852 as the solution to an ongoing problem. London was desperately short of places to bury its dead, and frankly a lot of the space that existed was in demand among the living. Cremation was illegal until 1884. The idea behind the necropolis was that it would be a one-stop burial shop, a place where all the dead of London, regardless of class or religion, could be laid to rest. By putting it out in the countryside, it could expand indefinitely. In order to get people there, the London Necropolis Company planned to run special trains. Now, we talk about the Brookwood Necropolis Railway, but most of the journey was made over the London and South Western Railway, which ran through Brookwood. At Brookwood, there was a short branch line with two stations. South Station was for Anglicans and North Station for nonconformists. There was also a goods station of sorts for the monumental masons. The services were not only divided by religion, but by class. Even the Necropolis Company's hearse vans had first, second and third class compartments, although if you were in a position to appreciate the difference, something had gone very wrong. Apart from the hearse vans, the rolling stock was provided by the LSWR, although the funeral carriages were kept segregated from the rest of the company's stock. Waterloo was chosen as the London terminus because it was on the London and South Western Railway's main line. It was pretty easy to get to from most of London, and it had the space for a station back in the 1850s. The building you see today is actually the second Necropolis station. The first was on York Street, with offices at number 188 Westminster Bridge Road. Unfortunately, in the 1890s, the LSWR wanted to expand the approaches to Waterloo Station, and the Necropolis station was in the way. The London Necropolis Company weren't going to take this lying down and demanded that the LSWR build a new station for them, charge low rent and provide rolling stock. Well, the LSWR didn't have much choice, and so the LNC got their new station in 1900. There are subtle clues that give away when it was built. The new station was essentially a combined funeral director's office, funeral home, and railway station. They did not, as far as I'm aware, ever refer to it as Mortaloo, but they certainly should have. The LNC envisaged a frequent service of trains running from Waterloo to Brookwood, but the demand was never quite what they anticipated. The legalization of cremation reduced the pressure on cemeteries, and the rise of motor transport in the 20th century made the train service look cumbersome and obsolete. On the 16th of April 1941, during the Blitz, the station at Waterloo was bombed. Much of the structure was destroyed, with only the office and the first-class waiting room surviving, largely unscathed. The LNC decided to call it a day and sold the station off in 1947, moving their offices to Brookwood. So, what I'm referring to as the station here is really only part of the station, specifically the office block. The platforms and the approach viaduct are long gone. The building has been used for offices since its sale and is currently disused. The building, including the ornate frontage, is Grade 2 listed. So yes, the place is for sale. The building has 6 floors, and apparently there is planning permission to build 7 luxury apartments. The asking price is £4.5 million, which I fear is a little out of my price range. Now, if you're a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know I can be a bit cynical about a lot of development in London, but I actually don't hate the idea of turning this into flats, as long as the fabric of the station building remains in good condition. Which it should do, as long as there are none of those mysterious fires that historic structures recently acquired by developers often suffer from. Grade 2 listing ensures that the ornate facade should remain intact, and personally, I think it would be good if the old sign could be uncovered. A bit morbid? Maybe. But I bet there are plenty of people who'd be fine with living in London's most bizarre station. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. Now, one great thing about doing videos about current events is that I can respond to the reaction to the previous video in a reasonably timely manner. Normally I make my videos 2 or 3 weeks ahead. So, I just want to thank everyone for their kind comments on my anniversary video. It was really nice of you. It gave me feelings. I'd also like to thank you all for your feedback on my plans for future videos. It is very useful to hear what you think, what you'd like, and what you wouldn't like to see. I'm taking it all on board, and will bear it all in mind for future videos. And as always, I'd like to thank my donors on Ko-fi, on Patreon, and here on YouTube for your generous support. You are the ornate facade to my dingy office block. And I will see you all again very soon. Cheerio.